That water, that Pacific Ocean is cold as shit. So no more pep rally. You're now in your head. You're linked arms with, your brothers beside you. You don't know if they're going to be there long or not. You don't care. You think about yourself. You lay back and that first wave hits you. Your mind goes straight from hour 2 all the way to hour 130. You can't process 5 days of this shit. You're now in a fuck you, like I gotta get out of here. You're in fight or flight. It's cold, I can't be cold this long. And then this is that 1 second decision comes in. You forgot every reason why you wanted to be there. You don't care about SEALs. You don't care about any of this shit. You don't care about fighting for your country. You don't care about that gaudy gold trident that they put on your chest. You don't care about any of that shit no more. All you want to do is go back home. You want the warmth. You may want something to eat. You want your girl to hold you. All those things of comfort are there in that 1 second. And this is where people lose. So what I do in that 1 second, because we all think about quitting when shit's hard. But what you have to do in that 1 second is hard to process information during pain. Because that pain takes over and you can't think rationally. You're thinking about fight or flight, save yourself. That's not a rational thought. It's not a thought that's going to get you through hard times. Most people fail that 1 second. So what happens, what I do in that 1 second, and there's a bigger process to all this, but in that 1 second, I physically stayed in that water. Because if I get out of the water, I quit. So I physically stay in the water, but mentally, I'm on the fucking beach with the fucking instructors. And the instructors, it's cold outside, so they got these parkas on. They got their cup of fucking Joe, and they're warm because they've already been through it. So now it's your turn to go through it. So mentally, I get back with them. I'm still in the water physically, but mentally, I'm back with them. I'm chilling. I got my parka on, and now I'm thinking logically because I'm warm now. Mentally, I'm warm. I've taken that 1 second. Let's not quit yet, Goggins. Let's fucking think about your options. Where are you going to end up if you quit this shit? Where are you going to go? What are you going to say to yourself? Because you know you're going to get warm. The second you get out of this water, you're going to take a shower and you're going to be warm. And in 5 days, you could be out. So I start thinking logically. I calm my brain down because your brain just wants to get the fuck out. Ring the bell, put your helmet down, get warm, and then you're really fucked. And these are the things you have to think about in the 1 second decision. So that's what that's all about. It's about gaining control of your mind, putting things back in the proper perspective, and then saying, I really do want to be here. And I'm going to have a bunch of these 1 seconds through this 130-hour journey. And I have to learn to control these, because if I fail one of these 1 seconds, I will not be a SEAL. I will not be a doctor. I will not be a lawyer. I will not be whatever the fuck it is. So that's how important that 1 second decision is. It's all about your mind takes control of you. You have to say, fuck you. I run this motherfucker. And that's what that's all about.
We'll get back to Goggins in 1 minute, but first I need to tell you about Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. I've replaced my morning coffee with Element every day for over 3 years now, and I've never looked back. It means I've optimized my hydration, my brain feels better, I'm not getting mental fog, and it's helping me to curb cravings if I'm fasting throughout the day. Even video guy Dean uses it. My favorite flavor is the orange. That in a cold glass of water upon waking feels really, really good. It's a science-backed electrolyte ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, which helps me to feel at my absolute best all day. Also, they have a no BS, no questions asked refund policy, so you can buy it and try it for an unlimited amount of time, and if you do not like it, they'll give you your money back, and you don't even need to return the box. That's how confident they are that you love it. Head to drinklmnt.com/modern wisdom to get a free sample pack of all 8 flavors with your first box. That's drinklmnt.com/modern wisdom. Projecting yourself forward to see what are the consequences of failing, what are the consequences of stopping, is about as powerful of a motivation strategy as I can think of, Because what you're doing is you're trying to optimize right now to stop the discomfort.
That's right.
But what you're going to pay for that in is shame and guilt and regret long term.
That's right.
So what you need to be able to do is bundle all of that up that is as yet unfelt, but will last for way, way, way longer. You know, the future is much longer than now.
That's right.
The future is going to extend out up until the day that you die. And the now is just for now. And even 130 hours is just 130 hours.
That's right.
And you get to look back, and do you look back with pride and glory? Or do you look back with shame and guilt?
That's it. That's the 1 second. You just summarized it right there. And most people fail those 1 seconds. And then that 1 second leads to 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of fuck. I have people who have been through training with me, Ranger School, SEAL training, Air Force training, and I get calls from them today, and they have great lives. And all they talk about is how they failed in that one moment. And they can't even enjoy their life now because they're now warm. They're now warm. There's no more suffering. There's no more suffering for me either. And we're in the same boat now. But you're suffering, so we're not suffering, but you're thinking about what you could have been. I am exactly what I should have been. And that's where people start to lose it. Because now I realize that in that 1 second. I go through all that. I know how it's going to feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt. So that's what that's all about, man.
Well, I mean, you went back to go and do Moab again a second time.
That's right.
Which is your second attempt.
That's right.
Had you banged your knee up? It was pretty bad in between the first and the second one.
It was pretty bad way before either one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been jacked up now for about 20 years.
I've seen some gnarly photos of it recently. It looks interesting.
Yeah. So all those miles I've run on this thing, it's been a lot of it's been a lot of gut checks.
So you go back, you do Moab a second time.
Yep.
And then you turn your ass into like a hamburger or something as well. So it's not just the knee, it's the ass as well now. Yeah. So at mile 201, we have a good video of it. Matter of fact, Jennifer is like, there's some people up there. So so 201 is a spot where I was really finished in the first Moab. So that was a waymarker checkpoint for you the second time. So Jennifer is extremely happy right now because I'm there. Yes. And she knows I'm doing well now. I'm doing good. We're going to get through this. And so she's videoing me as I'm coming up this climb on this road. And she goes, there's some people up here who want to meet you. You're doing so amazing. And I said, my ass is fucked up. You need to get the fucking Desitin cream. And it's literally for like 20 fucking miles. That, like, people don't get it, man. When you get raw like that, bro, and you're walking, because the chafing of my ass, it was hamburger meat. And I'm like, so she's all fucking happy and shit. And I just look at her, and I'm gonna put the video up on social media because but she's a fucking trooper, bro. Hang on, so was there leakage? Oh yeah. That was on the video from behind? So my shorts were absolutely raw dogged. Yeah. So when you pull them down, it's just blood. And so she goes in the bathroom because she didn't know what she was gonna see. She has the Desitin cream. She walks in there and I pull them down and spread them open. And I go, put that shit all up in there. So she goes in for the kill. And she's putting this Desitin cream all over the fucking place, man. And you know what? This is the funny thing about it. That's when you know you got a good motherfucker with you, man. When you're that raw, you're that fucked up, and she's just like nothing. It was like saying, hey, can you like put some lotion on my back before I go lay out? That's how she was in there, man, getting in it. That's it, man. Have you considered that might be the most traumatic event of all of the things that you've done in your life, what you asked Jennifer to do that day? No, not at all. She did worse. So that Leadville chapter, when I talk about after I finished, and then the ultra raveling or unraveling had begun, when I lay down, so... Oh, that was on the duvet, and you didn't know the word duvet. Yeah, I know what the fuck duvet was. How the fuck do you not know the word duvet? Blanket, man. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Out from the streets, we call them blankets. Okay. Anything that you wrap up in is a fucking blanket. Cool. So I'm laying on the duvet, and she's all fucking like about her damn ratings at fucking the Airbnb shit, and I'm literally like, hey, I'm about to shit fuck, right because here. It's not your place. No. Okay. No. Right. Yes. I can see why she would be concerned. So that scene
was bad. But once again, see, soldiered up.
Like a crime scene.
Yes, it was a crime scene.
So, you've done all of this stuff, right? You've done the SEAL Selection Week 3 times, strapping the legs up so that you can run a Badwater ultra race, the Asperger's, everything.
Yes.
Of all of the physical pursuits that you've endured, which has been the most painful?
By far, my first 100-mile race. By far. This 2019 Moab, the one that I DNF'd but still finished, that's up there. But when you are so, I guess, you're not prepared to run 100 miles, and you take it for granted, and you didn't do any training at all, and you didn't have the right nutrition, and off a whim, like literally, like, you know what, I want to raise money for a foundation. And that's how that happened. So I don't know if you know the story or not, but basically I'm sitting there, and the lone survivor incident happened where a bunch of, some SEALs died. I want to raise money for them. I went to training with most of these guys. So I had the bright idea to raise money. I wasn't going to do a hot dog or hamburger sell. I was going to do something that people would be attracted to. So I Googled the world's toughest events. And what comes up is this race called the Badwater 135. And it's a 135-mile race through Death Valley in the summertime. Now, I had no idea about ultra running. I didn't know what the fuck ultra running was. But when I saw 135 miles, I automatically assumed it was a stage race where you ran like maybe 10, 15 miles, bed down, and you got up the next morning and did it. So when I called the race director up, Chris Kosman, I'm like, hey, I would like to do this race to raise money for a foundation. He goes, have you ever run 100 miles? And I was like in a week, or like what are you talking about? He goes, no, like in 24 hours, because that's what you got to do to qualify. And I was like, is that even possible? Like, I didn't know. So anyway, he goes, no, you can't get in my race unless you qualify. And I called him up on a Wednesday, and that Saturday, and I was a bodybuilder at the time. I did cardio 20 minutes a week on the elliptical trainer every Sunday. He goes, yeah, Saturday, you're in San Diego, Saturday is a 24-hour race where you run around a 1-mile track for 24 hours. And if you can get 100 miles, I'll consider you in my race. So I'll go sign up for this race. And the first 70 miles, I'm doing pretty good. And then I hadn't sat down. I hadn't gone to the bathroom. I was drinking Mileplex and Ritz crackers. I was, eating Ritz crackers. So,
elite nutrition.
Yeah, elite.